Right.
Tulane University, it's not my issue if you own Tulane University Hospital and you need something, a roof put back there. That's not my issue. You're a private university.
Mm-hmm.
Business people, small businesses in this country are thought to have a bottom line of at least $1 million. That's not my problem if you lost your business. You should have business insurance. So my point is the least of these were the least taken care of.
Of course, always the poor
And
people always get the short end of the stick.
but by the same token, it was those very people who made the economic engine of that city run, the tourism industry. We were there. We were the waiters. We were the maids in the hotels, and
We played the
played the
music.
music that brought everyone there. We were the cooks that made the city
The
famous for
food.
its cuisine.
Yes.
Right.
And so when they deny us the right to return, you're denying the very essence and culture of that city.
Of course.
And now we have, some remnants left, but by and large we have great pretenders pretending to be the musicians. People who were just imitators are now moved to the forefront as authentic, for example.
Right.
Another thing is that it's almost impossible now to live in New Orleans at the current rate of what people are making. The
non-living
rents,
wages.
yes, the rents have skyrocketed to a point where if you was paying maybe $400 a month, you now have to pay $900 and $1,200 a month for a single bedroom apartment.
It's like San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly. And the cost of living has gone up, skyrocketed, because not just because of Katrina, but with the oil situation, gas prices, and the food, and so.
But the wages are not.
Of course not.
And see, I think where the Bay Area, is much more progressive, of course, than New Orleans. At least you have unions, and you have unions in every corner. In New Orleans, we had
Well, I don't know about that.
one or two unions.
You-
I don't know if they're busting the unions out here as well.
Yes.
Well,
the
unions
unions
are
They
done a
busted
tremendous
all of
anyway.
our
Yes,
unions.
yeah,
They
yeah.
busted the teachers' union. All of the unions are primarily gone now in the wake of Katrina. And so, but Louisiana, even before that, always was a right to work state, meaning they passed a law, that we have a right to work, yes, but employers have a right to fire us and hire us at whim. And so there was no protection at all.
We call it the right to work for less.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Basically. So it was a plantation mentality before Katrina. Now we do love our city. Yeah, we're harping on it because it's such a beautiful place to have so much corruption.
Culture. There's so much
Right.
culture.
Much corruption, and so we love our city, but we just have to tell it like it is, and what was going on prior and what's going on now. Right now, the fantasy is, we're back. Come to the French Quarter. Come to the All-Star
Come to the Mardi Gras.
game that they had, the All-Star NBA game,
Right,
which was
yeah.
beautiful. Come to the Mardi Gras, come to Essence Fest, come to Jazz and
But
Heritage
even
Festival.
one of the ball players
You know?
went out into the community and was shocked.
Yeah.
Just shocked at what he saw. Because and I've had reports, JR and a few others have gone to Louisiana and come back with reports, recent reports, and it still looks the same.
Yes,
5
almost
years
3
later.
years later.
Well, what is it now?
It'll be 3 years in
3 years.
August, but yeah, and so if you go east of Canal Street, which I was explaining to you earlier, it's just like Market Street. Downtown Development District, the biggest, business area in the city. If you go east of there, everything is still
Trailer
pretty much
city.
like it was
Talk about the trailers.
right after Katrina. And
Please.
my husband lived
Yeah,
in the trailer.
I lived in the trailer while I was down in New Orleans to renovate the property, and then we heard about the formaldehyde, and
Right.
and
That's
I mean
what I wanted to-
I never had high blood pressure in my life. Of course, the experience with Katrina could have caused that, but I'm saying that my eyes used to water. I mean, so. We still don't know the effects, all the side effects of living in the trailer.
But those trailers are still there. And the government knows
Right.
that there's this, what is it?
Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde.
and they're not doing anything to take care of the people or get them out of there, out of harm's way. Nothing.
And much less at least run a health screen on you. I went there last summer in connection with the Bravo Theater Project, which was the project I alluded to in terms of the theater project that we did. Stardust and Empty Wagons, Voices of the Katrina Diaspora. And we went down there to preview the play for the band, which we ended up bringing a live band from New Orleans, and
The Hot Eight.
the Hot Eight Brass Band. But while we were there, I went and stayed in the trailer with him, and 2 days later, I lost my voice completely. I had laryngitis. It was not a cold.
Oh.
It just came out of nowhere, and it stayed that way the whole time I was there, which was nearly 13 days, right? Or 14 days?
Yes. Yeah.
When I came back to the Bay Area, I was here 2 days, and it was gone.
Okay, I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about the housing demolitions. There was a big protest. There was a city council meeting. The people tried to get into the meeting, were barred from it. They couldn't. They protested every way that they possibly could peacefully, and they basically lost because the housing has something like 4,500 units of housing have been recently just demolished.
That
Housing.
was really a disgrace. I'm totally ashamed of everyone that was involved in that whole process, because for one thing, the projects, as we call them, or housing developments,
PJs.
yeah, they have withstood every hurricane for the last 50 years.
Those were solid bricks.
Solid brick. I mean, they really. I don't think If
They
an
don't even
atomic
build them
bomb
that way
went off, that's
anymore.
probably where you'd want to be at, one of
Yeah.
those buildings.
And my
Right.
husband can speak to that because he worked for the Housing Authority of New Orleans.
Oh my goodness. All
Yeah,
right.
so there was nothing wrong. The problem is that you had very insensitive people, greedy people, who decided they need this land because where these housing developments were is very expensive land. So they need this to develop what so-called redevelopment projects.
Sounds like Hunter's Point.
But unfortunately, the houses that they're going to replace these other houses with are inferior as far as I'm concerned. They look modern but with some ingenuity and things, we could have did a lot of things, because many of the projects had the wrought iron porches, galleries, on the second floor, beautiful. They had the
They could have been renovated.
terracotta.
They could have been
They could have been
condos.
very easily.
Easily.
Very easily.
Could have
And
been
those
converted to
people were
condos.
the people who inhabited those projects were not even allowed to come back home.
That's correct.
Right, we're not allowed to come back
And to
home
get their-
or to get their belongings.
Belongings.